So for anybody that tuned in late, give a little quick summary of what is going to be happening, why Blizzard's doing this, what their thought process is, because this was actually really, really great information. The team acknowledged that they do not want to be taking the fun away from everybody constantly. At one point, they even said it themselves. They said we were known as the fun police at one point, and we want to not do that. And that is why in season 2 they started only fixing the bugs that were impacting players' gameplay. So let's say for the example this season, this Spiritborn with the evade build. The evade was causing a bunch of lag for a lot of people, other than just the Spiritborn itself. So they changed the animation. The evade build is still really strong, so all they did was just fix something that was impacting everybody else. So their goal is what they want to do is just change builds that are affecting other people's gameplay. So what they're not going to be doing is they're not going to be changing any of the bugs that are happening with the Spiritborn. The Spiritborn will be the same all the way until Season 7. That is the great thing about playing a seasonal game, is that we get all of our changes in the next season. Even if for this season, it's something that you don't like, or it's something that you want to keep playing, you have the whole season to play it. They're going to leave it alone. Something that they are doing is they're setting up for Season 7 with all of the other classes. So they are going to be buffing every single class. We only got to see a very small preview, and if you were watching the stream and you saw my reaction when they posted the Barbarian stuff, it plays into exactly the build that I am playing right now, and I am so excited about it, but we only saw a small piece. So that means they're going to have more changes, more buffs coming. All of the other classes are going to be up to a point where they feel the Spiritborn is going to come down to in Season 7. They want a class balance. That's what they're focusing on right now. They're not focusing on nerfing anything. They're not focusing on ruining all of the other classes because they're fun. They're focusing on making sure that they all feel exactly the same. They want to keep the pit clearing pretty close, probably within 10, 15 levels. And it's going to be completely different. So in Season 7, we're going to expect to see possibly an armory. We're going to find that out when we get our PTR notes, which is going to be next week's stream. They haven't released when the notes are going to come out. They haven't released when the patch is going to hit yet. We're going to get all that stuff later on. So it's already in the works. So Barbarian's getting some really, really great stuff. And then some of the other classes, though, honestly, I think that the Sork might take #1 just with the little preview that we saw. But that's not the whole thing, but with a little preview that we saw, Sork's got some pretty big love. They're changing around a lot of the aspects and stuff. There has been a lot of stuff that was really, really good coming out around this right here. With the buffs to all of the classes, that's probably going to make it a little bit easier to get to your tier 90 or your tier 100 in the pits. And the reason that they're doing it is to make sure that everybody can level up your glyphs. It'll feel comfortable to get there. I've been on this Barbarian, not this one right here. And this one, I haven't had any Spiritborn power level my glyphs. They're all at 90. I'm playing an off-meta build, which might actually be meta after this patch hits. And I am comfortably in the 90s on clearing. So it is definitely something that if you put a build together that works, and then they buff all of the classes just a little bit, you'll be able to level up your glyphs, grind a little bit more. So those changes are actually going to be really, really good. They did buff a couple of these skills for the Spiritborn. A couple of the ones that were not being used, but you got to remember, don't look at this as they're buffing this really, really overpowered class, and why would they even bother doing that? They're buffing the skills that aren't being used right now. We're setting up for Season 7. In Season 7, the Spiritborns are all going to feel just like your Barbarian feels this season, or just like your Sork feels this season. So what they're doing is they're setting up right now for Season 7 to be even better than this is. We won't have, and make sure that when you go into Season 7, you do not expect to get everything so quickly. They're looking at the Ancestral gear, so they're probably going to change the drop rates a little bit. They're looking at how we get it, when it drops, and how much it drops. They're also looking to make some changes to the aspects and the ancestral aspects and see how that's going to be done. Because I don't know. What I've been saying is that if they just put that your ancestral uniques can drop with the top 5 range, then if it drops, you know that you're going to get something like that. Now, I don't know what they're going to do because they haven't released any patch notes yet. That's going to happen later on in the week. They'll release the patch notes. They'll give us the date for everything. Then they're going to give us the date for the next stream. The next stream is going to be your PTR stream. What a PTR stream means is that they're going to give us all of the information that potentially will hit Season 7. That's going to be happening after the break, so after the Thanksgiving break. So we should be getting our PTR early in December. What a PTR is, it's a public test realm. You have to have a PC Battle.net account to play the public test realm. They haven't opened it up to anything else other than that. I don't know if they have any plans on doing it. It's kind of hard to push things out to console with all of the limitations that PlayStation and Xbox put on patch and updates releasing. So I don't know if they're going to ever be able to bring it there. Who knows what the future is going to bring, but early December is probably when we're going to get all of the patch notes and the PTR. And then when we get that, they said after the holiday break is, I guess, when it's going to be, we'll get the final patch notes, I think is what they said. So it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited to hop into this PTR and test out with the new changes. Try out all the new class balances, because that's when we'll actually get to see probably what it's going to feel like with the Spiritborn. That is going to be just the same level as everybody else. This season, the Spiritborn obviously is super, like a million times stronger is what I think the math is on this. And I think that what we're going to see is, I think that we're going to see what the Spiritborn actually can do. And I'm excited about that, because the Spiritborn is a really, really well-made class. The interactions are amazing. The class itself is super good, but we don't know what it actually feels like until we actually get into the game and we get to try it out. Now, the season ends January 21st, so we have a long way to go. So once we get through the patch notes for this one, we'll get the class balance updates, then we'll get our PTR, then they'll have to implement all of that stuff. Take the feedback from the PTR, make even more changes, and then January 21st, that's when your season is going to end. And then we're going to hit Season 7. We're going to feel the Spiritborn changes. Not nerfs, because it's technically not working as intended. So we're going to feel Spiritborn changes, all of the class buffs, possibly get an armory like everybody's been asking for. We'll have new drop rates on your Ancestral gear. They're looking at all of this. It's all under consideration. So I don't know about you guys, but after watching this, I'm so excited. They're not buffing classes up to the level of the Spiritborn. And they did talk about this for anybody that didn't get to catch the beginning of it. What they talked about was, let's say, okay, so we have your classes here. Spiritborn is, like, get my hand out of the camera, right? Spiritborn's here. Everybody's saying buff the classes to the level of Spiritborn. So if they do that, then they bring all the classes here, right? Now everybody is doing quadrillions of damage. Next season, somebody breaks the game. Let's say the Sork goes up to here. Right? Then everyone's like, okay, well, buff all the classes to get back to the Sork. Now everybody's here. Now we're doing quintillions of damage, which I think has already been done, but right, everybody's doing quintillions of damage. Then somebody else breaks the game again the next season, Season 9. They're up here. They bring everybody else up here. Now we're doing infinite symbol damage. So they have to constantly bring things back down. So don't expect always buffs. Expect changes, expect things to be reeled back in, expect damage numbers to go down. That's how you have to approach a seasonal game like this, with a live update service. If they just let it run, then you get into mobile game territory. I've played mobile games in the past, and I've seen mobile games where you're literally getting, you can see an item that says 500 million trillion increase to damage. Like, why do you even need that? How do you even know that it's doing more damage? So you have to see some nerfs, or you have to see some scaling back of numbers in order to keep the game healthy and keep it feeling good. The builds are going to change every single season. That's what we do, is we find new builds. That keeps the game fun, expressive. I know we all have our favorite builds that we don't want to see nerfed. Mine is what I'm actually playing right now. I was actually able to make it work 3 seasons later. We finally got it to work again. But we're going to find new fun builds every season. So just expect that when you go into Season 7, don't expect it to just be exactly the same as it is now. Don't ever expect the damage numbers to remain the same. The classes will be unbalanced, maybe for a season, and then they'll try and get it back. But eventually, we're going to be in a really good spot where all of the classes feel good. A new item might introduce where they might scale it back a little bit, but it's going to be a super fun. So that's just my thoughts on the Campfire Chat. I think that we have some great changes coming up in the future. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm super excited about this. My Barbarian is getting the buffs that I wanted to see specifically for the build that I'm playing.